It's been a while since we've done a Q&A on this channel, so I figured today I would do a Q&A and crochet. I've been working on this little jumper for ages now and I'm getting really bored of it, I'm not going to lie to you. So I want to finish it, so I figured I would do some crocheting whilst I answer some questions. It's going to be very chill, you know, very casual. I kind of messed up this jumper, I know I've messed it up, it's kind of just a practice. Like this sleeve looks like a proper sleeve. Or not sleeve yet, but like there's enough space there for a proper sleeve to go on. This one, I don't know what I've done. Don't know what I've done there, but I'm hoping with my scoliosis maybe it'll even out. I've also got a very evil little cat sat on my lap, and you know cats and strings, not a good mixture. Cats love strings. Do you want to say hi to everyone? Do you want to say hi? This is my professional criminal son, Biscuit, who is just a nightmare, but ever so cute, aren't you? Anyway, let's get into some questions. I asked you guys to ask some questions on my community page, so I've got a few to go through. Also, side note, before I go any further, I wanted to like film this in my lounge because I thought it'd be like cute and cozy and all my crochet stuff's down here. And then I realised my microphone doesn't work unless it's attached to my computer, but I'd already set up down here, so I'm using my old microphone. So if the audio quality isn't the usual standard, that's why. But I figured nobody will probably really care, to be honest, so I'm going with it. So the first question is about how my wedding planning is going. So excited for you. Thank you. I'm also so excited. And for those of you that don't know, I'm getting married this year. I'm going to be a married woman as of August 2024. We are doing an entirely DIY wedding because do you know what? Weddings are really bloody expensive. And let me tell you, when you think you like have an idea in your head of how expensive weddings are, double it, triple it even. It is obscene how expensive they are. Even doing a DIY wedding, it is still higher than the budget I probably would have liked, but we are trying to save money everywhere we can. We have got a barn in the middle of the countryside here in the UK. I'm not going to say where, obviously. I'm hiring all the vendors individually instead of having a proper caterer. We are doing food trucks. We've got pie and mash for the evening, which is so exciting. Or not the evening, for like the wedding breakfast, like afternoon meal. Then for the actual evening meal, we are doing a ramen bar, which I'm really excited for. Yeah, pudding's gonna be Krispy Kreme donuts because there's 10% off that we can get on a Friday. Yeah, we are doing really well with the planning, I think. I actually haven't found it all that stressful, to be honest with you. Like, it's been quite an easy, chill process. I've got a wedding spreadsheet, which has just been like my Bible throughout all of this. And we are literally sending out the invites later this week, hopefully, which is very, very exciting. We didn't bother with save the dates or anything because I've got a lot of family. Holly's got a lot of friends. There's like, we've got 150 people coming to the day of our wedding, which sounds obscene, I know, but like, when I say I've got a big family, I mean I've got a big family, and quite annoyingly, I see them all. So we kind of really didn't have a choice when it came to like having a small wedding or a big wedding. Like, it was always going to be big. So we haven't sent out save the dates or anything like that because, again, that's extra money that we just don't really want to spend. So we're just sending out regular invites, and if people can't make it, then it's going to save us some money. But yeah, so it is going really, really well. I've got my dress, which I love. I'm so excited to like show everyone my dress because it is just, it's so pretty. It is not what I thought I was going to have at all, but I'm obsessed with it. I'm so excited. And what else have we done? My best friend is going to be sort of officiating the ceremony. Obviously, we can't legally get married at this random barn in the middle of nowhere. So we're doing like the legal ceremony beforehand and then have my best friend like officiate a proper ceremony on the day. What else? Yeah, I don't really know what else. My next job actually is bridesmaid dresses. I need to sort out my bridesmaids dresses. We're doing those from a place called Cecilia online. Hopefully they're good. We'll soon find out. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited for it. I feel like I'm doing well with the planning. I'm just a very type A person, you know? Like, I love to plan things. I'm an organiser, so I just feel like planning a wedding is like the ultimate test for a person like me, and I am loving it so much. So sure, over the next few months things might get a little bit more stressful, but honestly I can't really picture what I'm going to get stressed about. It is just going very well. What is your perfect reading time or routine, and what are your 2024 must reads? I like to read in the evening. So Holly, my fiance, is a gamer girl. She games all the time. So in the evenings when she's playing her games, I like to read. That is like my ideal time to do it. Honestly, I don't really have any other time to do it, so that is when I do most of my reading. I also love to listen to an audiobook. I have horses, or horse. I have a horse, as we may know. So when I'm at the yard doing him, I've always got an audiobook in my ears, or a podcast, or music, but most often at the moment it's generally an audiobook. It's just a really great time actually to catch up on my reading. I love having an audiobook on the go at all times. And what are my 2024 must reads? The books I'm probably most excited for are Don't Want You Like a Best Friend by Emma Alban, which has just come out. I actually need to order it. I went to Waterstones to try and get hold of it, but they didn't have it, so I'm going to order it on Amazon. I know, sorry, but I don't know where else to get it from. Also RuPaul's memoir that's coming out in March or April, I think. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. I did do a video a few weeks ago where I talked about all like the sapphic books I'm excited for in 2024. So if you want to go and watch that, I'll link that down below. But I think those two are the ones that immediately come to mind. What's my favourite Sims 4 expansion pack? And have I tried to make Mojo with a horse ranch pack? If you can hear that banging, that is Crumble and Biscuit playing. That is how loud they are when they play. My favourite Sims 4 expansion pack. I love Cottage Living. I think Cottage Living really makes a difference to my gameplay. Like, also Seasons. Seasons is a very underrated one, I think, but it affects like every aspect of the gameplay. So Seasons is really important, but I think next to that, Cottage Living is definitely the one that I play with the most. I love the town or the world, Henford on Bagley. I think being a British girl myself, like, it's a very relatable pack. Like, I like the world. I like the sort of like lore that comes with it. So definitely Cottage Living. Also, I have made Mojo on the Horse Ranch pack. Mojo is my pony, for anyone who doesn't know. He is my favourite little shit. I love him so much. He's so funny. I have made him. I'll insert a picture here now because I'm sure I took a picture of it. Did you paint the wall art that's in the background of some of your videos yourself? I think it's in your office, but not sure. It looks beautiful. No, I didn't. I know what you're talking about though. I think you're talking about the... It's Delilah Green Doesn't Care, Seven Husbands, Reverend Hugo, and Song of Achilles, like fan art prints. I didn't paint them myself. I wish I had painting talent or any sort of artistic talent. I do not. They are from Etsy and I love them. They're gorgeous. I'll link them down in the description box if I remember, / if the store is still up and running. I'll see if I can find them. They actually had loads of prints of like loads of different books. There's so many and I spent ages like poring over which ones to go for. But those are definitely 3 of my favourite books ever, so I had to go for them. Not book related, but I used to love your reviews of fuller bust lines from different brands. Are there any brands or styles that you've been loving this past year? Honestly, not really. I kind of stopped looking into fuller bust clothing and fuller bust brands because it made me just like really angry. It used to be something that I spoke about a lot on my main channel, like before I went to the true crime stuff. And also, I kind of dipped my toe into it on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, I am a 5'1" petite girly with a rather large chest, and I hate it, and it is the bane of my existence. So I spend a lot of my life trying to find clothes that actually make me not want to hate myself, basically. When I find a style that works for me, I tend to just like wear that over and over again. Stradivarius did do a line of polyamide tops. Polyamide was the material. They're like really, really tight, really stretchy little crop tops, which I think were meant to be just like normal tops. I wore them every single day, or I've worn them every single day for like the last 2-3 summers. They are really good at flattening. They're fantastic flattening. A lot of the time I wear them underneath jumpers and stuff, just so like I can get that sort of like flattened effect. But other than that, honestly, no, I haven't really found anything. I just, focusing on it too much just makes me more conscious of my chest, you know? And sometimes I've just got to like ignore it and just like pretend it doesn't exist. Have I started writing my book, or am I planning on it anytime soon? I have not started writing my book. I know I've been saying I'm going to do it for years. I know. I have really vivid ideas in my head of my characters and the storyline and what I want this book to be. But every time I try and put it on paper, I just don't even know where to begin. I've got like a basic outline. I've like outlined it, but I can't write it. I just can't. I just don't know where to begin, and I want to do it justice. And it's just such a big sort of thing to do. Like, it's such a big project that if I start it, I'm not gonna have time for anything else. And at the moment, I've got to focus on actually like making money to pay my mortgage and survive. So like any time I do have, I'm sort of like having to focus on my channels at the moment rather than focus on writing a book, which might make money one day, but not right now. And I need to stop making excuses. I need to do it. But I'm just, how do you begin writing a book? I just don't know. Book related, are you still planning to read and review thrillers? And if so, are there any particular ones on your TBR? Yes, I'm actually currently working on this video at the moment. I want to read 10 of like the most popular thrillers, and then I want to sort of like review them and rank them in like a criteria. So like out of 10, how much of a page turner is it? How gory is it? How scary is it? And yeah, I'm currently working on that right now. Are there any particular ones on my TBR? So let me see if I can remember off the top of my head which ones are on the list that people wanted me to read. Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I've heard so many things about that. There's a couple of Lisa Jewell ones on the list. The One by John Mars. The Push by Ashley Audrain, I want to say. I've already read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and what was the other one I read? I literally finished it like 2 days ago. Oh, No Exit by Taylor Adams. So that video probably won't be out for maybe another 6 weeks or so, because I actually still need to read 8 out of 10 books, but I'm working on it. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? Honestly, being a queer woman, there's not many parts of history that I would really be that interested in travelling back to, because even now it can be difficult sometimes, let alone any further back in history. But being a history nerd, if I forget about the fact that I'm a queer woman, just like pure history nerd, I want to go back to 1665 London. I want to see what the Great Plague was actually like. I want to like see London as it was in that time, or maybe even like 1666, Great Fire of London. I love London history, so that's just something that really, really fascinates me. I want to see sort of like how similar the Great Plague was to COVID. Because when I used to research Great Plague, like the idea of plague houses and people having like big crosses on their door and not being allowed to leave the house, like that was insane. That was like unimaginable to me. Whereas now in a post-COVID world, like we lived through that. And so that doesn't sound anywhere near as absurd anymore. So I'd love to see it. Do I have a favourite recipe for the colder months? Oh, I love cooking when it's cold outside. It is my favourite thing. I love like really hearty recipes that like warm you up from the inside out. My favourite is definitely soups. I make a banging soup, if I do say so myself, like a good broccoli cheddar soup. I make a good leek and potato. Oh my god, recently I made a parsnip soup, or a roasted cauliflower and roasted garlic soup. Oh my god, there are so many. I just really enjoy a soup. I actually really want to start doing more recipes on my Instagram, like on Reels. I just need to like figure out the lighting and stuff, because I've tried to film a few, but the lighting is so bad that I'm like, nobody really wants to see this. So definitely soups. Also, I love like a slow cooker stew type thing. Like I put in some like beef and potatoes and carrots and onions and just like let that cook all day, and then just throw some gravy in at the end, which I don't really think counts quite as a stew, but like it's really nourishing and warm. This year's been a bit more tricky actually, because me and Hull, we haven't gone vegetarian. I'm not going to say we've gone vegetarian at all, but we've really cut back on the amount of meat that we're eating. Like I don't go out and buy meat with the weekly food shop now. I only buy like veg and cheese mostly is what we eat, to be honest. But if we like fancy something with meat in, I will go to the local shop and just like buy a pack of like chicken breasts or buy a steak or something. So it's not really something that we've like really committed to, but it's every little helps, doesn't it? So I haven't cooked as many of like my stews this year, but maybe I should. Maybe I will. What songs are we thinking about for the aisle and for our first dance at our wedding? So our first dance song we've agreed on since like the first month of our relationship, and that is Can't Help Falling in Love with You by Elvis. We are both massive Elvis fans. We both grew up listening to Elvis, like both our dads love Elvis. So that is really a no-brainer. And for an aisle song, I don't know. I'm not really sure what Hull's thinking, because obviously we're both walking down the aisle at different times, different songs. I'm kind of torn between Lover by Taylor Swift. Obviously it's Taylor Swift. Daylight, potentially. New Year's Day, even. Hull's birthday is like New Year's Day, so like that's a really cute song for me. What else? I have a list. I can't remember anything on the list. Mine is also a big contender. Also, it has like the Glee gay angle for that too. I think walking back down the aisle, I'm trying to fight for Paper Rings. Like to walk back down the aisle to Paper Rings is really fun. Yeah, so I think they're like my top contenders at the moment. We'll see what I go for. I think I'm edging towards Daylight right now, but we'll see. My favourite book to movie adaptation and my least favourite. Honestly, I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I think Hunger Games was done so well. Like, I love the Hunger Games books and the Hunger Games films, like, equally. I know they missed out some things in the films, but like that's always going to happen. But I think they were done so well. Like, they really casted it beautifully. So I do think Hunger Games is the best adaptation. My least favourite adaptation, I don't know. No, I know. The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. That adaptation was terrible. I wasn't even the biggest fan of the book when it came out, but when that movie came out, I went to see it in the cinema and I was gobsmacked at how little it actually followed the book. It was so terrible. What are my favourite YouTube channels? Okay, shall I literally go onto my YouTube and see which ones are like top of my list, as in the ones I click on the most? Okay. Okay, so top of my list is Sorted Food. I feel like Sorted Food are like always top of my list, to be honest. They just make cooking so accessible. I find their videos really fun to watch, but also whilst being really like informative. Like, I feel like I learn a lot. They do lots of really fun videos like trying pretentious ingredients. They like rate whether it's actually worth the money or not worth the money. Will they use it? Will they not? I've just always loved, I just scratched myself on the chin. I've just always really loved Sorted Food stuff. So they are always my most watched. At the moment, we have Mickey Joe Theatre is near the top as well. He does theatre reviews like London, West End and Broadway. And being a complete theatre nerd, obviously, I really enjoy those videos. Cara and Nate, I'm sure most people will know and watch Cara and Nate, but they are travel vloggers who have vlogged their travels around the world for the last 8 years. And every single one of their episodes is like cinematic. It's beautiful. Like, everyone is like a little movie. They are so talented at what they do. They do like all these crazy challenges and stuff. I think I prefer the just like getting to see a country kind of videos. But yeah, I love them. I've always watched them. Who else? I really like Jack Edwards at the moment. He is probably one of my favourite booktubers. Also with Cindy is another booktuber I love. There's another one I really like as well. Wait a sec. Lexi, aka Newly Nova. I really like her book stuff. Who else? I literally watch so many YouTubers, I don't even know where to begin. Sims videos, I watch a lot of Sims videos. Lil Simsy and Plumbella are definitely my favourites for the Sims stuff. I think because on my main channel I spend a lot of time talking about like really deep, dark subjects. When I'm watching YouTube for like my own pleasure, I just like to watch light-hearted, easy to watch videos that make me see the good in the world. So that is definitely what I sort of like gravitate towards. Okay, final question we have. Any books I'd recommend to get out of a reading slump? I've just had such a hard time focusing and feeling inspired. Okay, I always say when you are in a reading slump, you need a page turner. And there is nothing more page turning than a thriller. Read a thriller book, whether it's psychological, mystery thriller, like horror thriller, whatever floats your boat. It doesn't necessarily have to be like terrifying, but you just need something that's snappy and you're gonna sort of storm through. I recently read, like I said earlier, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, which I thought was quite good. I'll review it fully at a later date, but it really, like, every time I put it down, I could not stop thinking about it until I finished it. It was fantastic for that. And after reading that, I've now read like 3 books over the past like week because I'm just like zooming through them because that like really got me back into the swing of things. What other ones? Lucy Foley books are so good. So there's A Hunting Party, The Guest List and The Paris Apartment. All 3 of those are fantastic. Again, just page turners that will keep you going. I think the least scary of the 3 is probably The Paris Apartment. The one that like gets your heart going the most is The Hunting Party. So all of them would recommend. If you're not really into thrillers, maybe I'd recommend like the Heartstopper graphic novels. Like, they are graphic novels, they're cartoons, so they're very easy to like just flick through really quickly. You could probably read all 5 in like under 2 hours, and that will like help you get ahead of your reading goal, make you feel less guilty, you feel like you've still consumed something. They're so easy to read and they just make you feel really good, really warm and fuzzy. Or just listen to audiobooks. It still counts as reading. It's not cheating, like audiobooks count. I really struggle personally to get into fiction audiobooks. I think when it's fiction, I much prefer to actually have the physical copy in my hands or on my Kindle, but that's just personal preference. You might really like fiction. But I listen to a lot of memoirs through audiobooks, or a lot of like sort of just non-fiction nerdy books. My favourite one is Invisible Women by Caroline Criado Perez. or I really want to listen to ultra processed people. I think that's definitely going to be my next big listen audiobook style. At the moment I'm listening to Down the Drain by Julia Fox. It is, I mean, check the trigger warnings because it is dark. Like, I don't think I quite realised what I was getting myself in for, but it is so interesting. Like, I literally cannot stop listening. I'm going to finish filming this video and I'm going to immediately put the audiobook back on whilst I do some more crochet. So yeah, there are a few things I'd recommend. I think with that I'm going to go because I actually, saying that, I need to go to the yard. I need to go and do my horse because it is about to get dark soon. So maybe I'll listen to audiobook in the car instead. Thank you so much for answering some questions. Thanks for hanging around with me as I do my crochet. Shall I actually try this on real quick? Shall I see where we're at with it? I'm just going to slip this on over the top of this jumper because I'm not getting Nike on the internet. So let's see. Okay. It is a bit tight around the arm, but it's fine. It's going to be fine. I reckon only a couple more rows around the bottom. Interesting. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.